Hello again, everyone. This is Roddy Cantey with Pro Am Tennis, Pro Am Media, and ProAmTennis.com. We had a very good success in our first episode. We've had a lot of emails, a lot of responses about how people have really appreciated the products that we're talking about. A lot of times people don't have the access to really go try some of the rackets or even want to pay to even just experiment with some of the strings. So we're actually really happy to be able to provide a free service for you to see exactly what my opinion is, and hopefully down the road what other people feel at the same time. Today we're going to talk about another racket, another string, and also something to help you out with a little bit of the summer heat. Being down in Florida, we definitely need something to kind of keep us going. The club that we have, actually a lot of people have been struggling with the heat, so I want to make sure that we have a product to show you that really kind of help you beat the heat and a bit of that summer sizzle. The racket that we have today is the Babolat Aero Pro Drive, more commonly known as Nadal's racket. This is an extremely popular racket, not just in our area and not just in our shop, it's all around the nation. The great thing about this racket is that it's a hybrid racket, something where you can develop from a pure beginner all the way to a complete expert like a Nadal. The specs on this racket is 100 square inches, 10.6 ounces, 8 points headlight, and it is a fairly stiff racket. I mean, you can even see hopefully on the side here, it does have a thicker beam than your typical player's racket. You'll see a lot of rackets coming out these days that really follow the same mold and the same specs as this. The original racket that came out was the Babolat Pure Drive. Best-selling racket in history. It was named the racket of the 90s. It really came out as a game changer. It's one of those rackets that became so revolutionary, other rackets followed and wanted to follow similar specs. After the Pure Drive, the Aero Pro Drive came out specifically for a Nadal type of player. Someone who has a very fast swing, someone who has more of that Western and sometimes semi-Western grip. With this racket, you can create extreme types of spin on the ball, but at the same time give you enough power where it gives you enough depth at the same time. I wouldn't recommend this to someone who has more of that Eastern or even the traditional continental forehand type of grip. If you hit a slightly flatter ball, you tend to sail the ball a little bit more. If you do have more of that modern type of game, someone who has more of an open stance and a lot more spin on the ball, this is going to be a great racket for you. The one big difference between this racket and the Pure Drive is the aero modular technology. What that is that on the side of the frame, especially through the throat, it actually has the shape of an airplane wing. The idea from Babolat is that you can actually swing through the air just a little bit faster than the Pure Drive. If that's true, that's up to you guys to find out. I honestly couldn't feel the difference. There could be scientific fact behind it, but for me, just the feel of it I'm extremely happy about, and I'm not really paying attention too much of that aero modular technology. The Aero Pro Drive has been around for many years now. They've made certain upgrades to it to really enhance the feel, give you more power, give you better feel. The newest technology they came out with is the GT technology. It's a graphite mixed with tungsten type of technology. You've seen it with other frames before, maybe in the past. Babolat's done a really good job to use this type of technology to give you a better feel on the ball and a slight better flex on the racket upon impact. They did keep the Cortex technology, which is a filtration system that dampens the vibration. What it really does is it dampens the high frequency vibration, which helps prevent tennis elbow, but maintain the low frequency vibration, which is actually good for the feel of the shot. The one thing I do want to bring up as well, Babolat grips do run a slight bit larger if you're not used to the feel of a Babolat type of grip size. If you are more used to a Head, more used to a Wilson, a type of a Prince, you might want to go one grip size smaller. They tend to feel like half a grip size bigger than your typical grip size. So if you use a 4 3/8, I would recommend trying a 4 1/4 with maybe an overwrap, and that'd be a very similar feel as your other frames. Keeping the theme of Rafael Nadal, we talked about the Aero Pro Drive that he's been using for many years. Now we're talking about the RPM Blast, the string that he's been using pretty much throughout this whole year. And you might have seen it on TV, seeing a lot of the commentators talking about the black string. What is the black string? What is so good about the black string? Well, here it is. It is the RPM Blast. It is our best-selling string within the last few months. Everybody has been talking about it. We have not seen such hype like this in an extremely long time, and it does live up to its hype. It does give you a maximum amount of spin. If you're looking for something that gives you a little extra bite, I definitely would recommend this string. It has two things that really do well with it. It still does have a texture like the Pro Hurricane Tour from Babolat, but it also has a slick material, almost like a Teflon material on the strings, that really give you that snap feel when you're really brushing on the ball. My recommendation, if you do try the string it about maybe 2 or 3 pounds looser than what you usually do. What I found out with my own rackets, it does string a little bit tighter than most polyesters. On top of the great spin, it does give you a great amount of power as well. One thing we're going to talk about in our further episodes is we're going to compare this string with other types of polyesters and find out which string gives you the most power. A lot of people come into the shop and say, I want as much power as possible without trying to drop tension, without trying to change the frame. And a lot of times we recommend certain types of polyesters. I'm not going to tell you what it is this time, but we're going to team them up against each other and see what happens. Again, if you're looking for maximum spin, great power, good durability, and a slightly softer feel than most polyesters, it gives you a lot of bite on the ball, whether you're looking for a kick serve, top spin, slice, this is definitely a string for you. In my opinion, if you want the maximum amount of spin, go with the RPM Blast. And finally, we're going to talk about something to really beat the heat this summer. Being from Florida, it is extremely hot and extremely muggy this year, and I've had a lot of people come up and ask me how to keep themselves cool other than just wiping down with a towel every single time. Well, we definitely have a good product for you. It's from Frog Togs. It's actually something called the Chili Pad. We've been carrying this for a couple years, and it's been extremely popular throughout the summer. This Chili Pad has microcrystals within the material of the towel. What it does, it's going to feel about 10 degrees cooler than what the actual temperature is outside. So when you put the towel around your neck, it really is going to give you that cooling effect. It is also super absorbent, so it wipes down a lot of your sweat as well. If you want to stay cool this summer, I would recommend the Frog Tog Chili Pad. It has done wonders for people down here, and I definitely keep it in my bag as well. That concludes our second episode with Pro-Am Media. I wanted to thank you again for all your support and all your feedback that you've given us after the first episode. If you want more information from the products that we talked about, or if you want to give us your opinion, your personal opinion on some of these products, if you've tried them before, log on to facebook.com and search for Pro-Am Tennis. Your opinion counts, and as always, we want to know what's in your racket. See you at the courts.